Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurune Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karashyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Gurave Sarvalokanam Bhishaje Bhavaroginam Nidhaye Sarvavidyanam Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyaptadehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Narayanam Padmabhuvam Vasishtham Shaktim cha Tatputra Parasharancha Vyasam Shukam Gaudapadam Nahantam Govinda Yogindra Mathasya Shishyam Shri Shankaracharya Mathasya Padmapadam cha Vastavalakam cha Shishyam Tam Totakam Vartikakaramanyan Asmadgurun Santatamanatosmi Sada Shiva Saparambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritho Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punaha Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Sakshat Kritam Dayanandam Paramarthasvarupinam Tattvajnana Prashastaram Pranatosmi Param Padam Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastama Vidvishavahe Om Shanta Shanta Shantihi Sutrartho Varnyate Yatra
Sutrartho
Sutrato
varnyate
varnyate
yatra
yatra
Vakyai Sutranukariभिः
vakyai
Vakye
sutranukarभिः
Sutranukarभिः
Svapadani cha varnyante
स्वपदानि च
Swapadani cha
वर्ण्यन्ते
varnyante
Bhashyam Bhashyavidho Viduhu
भाष्यं
Bhashyam
भाष्यविदो विदुः
Bhashyavido viduhu.
We have completed the summary of the first two Mundakas. Now the third Mundaka. Third Mundaka, we have two Khanda. The Pratama Khanda has got 10 mantras, and the Dvitiya Khanda has got 11 mantras. Total 21 mantras, the summary of which we will see today. Before that, in the last class, the Hiranmaye Pare Koshi. That mantra is summarized. Just giving more clarification on that. The Paraha, the word. The Paraha means highest. Paraha. So it is not the closest because for Atma, nothing can be closer. Anything which is anatma, anything which is anatma, that anatma being anatma, therefore it cannot be closer because it is parichinna, it is limited. So anything which is limited, between the limited and the unlimited, the distance is always unlimited. It is infinite. Therefore, there are no differences between the kosha. This is a serious, as I told before in other class also, misconception. As though Annamaya kosha is far away and Anandamaya kosha is so near. It can be said figuratively, but not literally. So then what is the meaning of the word paraha, which we have seen in the Bhashya, of course? It is called paraha. You can take paraha, Hiranmaya koshaha, meaning Vijnanamaya or Anandamaya. The word paraha is used, if you take it as Vijnanamaya kosha, it is Upalabdhistanatvat. Upalabdhistanatvat, Brahmanaha, Parabrahmanaha, Upalabdhistanatvat. So, the upachara, it is called para, Hiranmaye pare. This upacharika expression. So, therefore, if you take it as Vijnanamaya kosha, Paraha koshaha, Vijnanamaya koshaha. Or if you take Anandamaya, it is Paraha kosha, Anandamaya kosha. If you take Vijnanamaya koshaha, then where the Atma is obtained as the knower, you take it as Anandamaya, where Atma is obtained as the enjoyer. The knower is kosha. The knower is what is called Vijnanamaya koshaha. Atma is neither a knower nor a doer or a enjoyer. That is Koshavat Achadakatva, therefore Vijnanamaya Koshaha Upalabdhistanatvat Paraha iti uchate. Whether it is Vijnanamaya or Anandamaya. So that is the para, the word, significance of the word pare. Hiranmaye pare koshe iti. Then coming back to the Tritiya Mundaka, the first Kanda, Pratama Kanda. We have seen in the Bhashyam that Bhashyakara beautifully summarizes the two Mundakas as an introduction, as a Sangati to this Mundaka. The first two Mundakas summarized in the form of just few lines. Paravidya Ukta Yaya Tadaksharam Purushakyam Satyam Adigamyate. First chapter, first Mundaka. Then Yata Adigame Gradaya Grantyadi Samsara Karanasya Atyanta Vinashagasyat Vidyate Hridaya Grantihi Taddarshana Upayaha Yogaha Danahu Adi Upadana Kalpanaya Uktaha. That imagery of archery. So the entire, the first Mundaka and second Mundaka just summarized. Then what about the third one? Here, Idanim Tat Sarakarini Satyadi Sadhanani Vaktavyani iti. So this Mundaka deals with the sadhana, preparatory disciplines, which are indispensable for Atmajnanam, without which Atmajnanam cannot be acquired. So therefore, for Aikya Jnanam, Jivatma Paramatma Aikya Jnanam, Aikya Jnana Sadhanani. Both are discussed, Aikyam as well as Aikya Sadhanani. And the Aikyam, Aikya Jnanam is presented through in this Mundaka through another example. It is presented through the Pakshi Udaharanam. This is an important mantra, the first mantra, Dvasuparna, which is often quoted by Shankara Bhagavad-pada. So, the Drishtanta here, the imagery, bird imagery, two birds sitting on the same tree. And one bird is just Agankara Chaitanya, other one is Sakshi Chaitanya. Being Sakshi, it witnesses. Agankara Chaitanya is that Chaitanya is Agankara, that because of Abhimana with Sri Ramana Sangata, therefore keeps on doing various actions and experiencing the results. So therefore it is Chidabhasa, we can say. So both these birds are seated in the same tree, the same Shriram. Of these two birds, one bird is eating the fruit of the tree. Sometimes the fruits are sweet, sometimes it is bitter. Vasuparna, Sayuja, Sakaya. Sayuja always together. As Sakaya, they have got some common features. So therefore, Bimba Chaitanyam, Pratibimba Chaitanyam. Akankara Chaitanyam, Atava Sakshi Chaitanyam. Anyway, we can call all same. So Parishasvaja, they located in the same rickshaw. And this one bird, one bird keeps on eating the fruits, palam. Tayoho anyaha swadasti, eating the fruits. Fruits is sukha palam, dukkha palam. That is the fruits. Another bird, what does it do? Sakshi, Chaitanyam. It doesn't eat. It doesn't undergo any change. It doesn't perform any action. It just abhicha kashiti watches. It just watches. It just illumines. It just witnesses the action of the first bird, Ahankara Chaitanyam. So are there two Chaitanyam? No. Both together is called Jivatma. Jivatma. The same mantra explained by the other people. This is Advaitin and Dvaitin. Two birds they take a bit different, but two birds are not too different. Yeah, it is the same. One is Bimba Chaitanyam, otherwise it is Sakshi, other one is Pratibimba. This the Ahankara Chaitanyam, the Karta Bhokta. Other one is Shuddha Chaitanyam, Sakshi Chaitanyam. This together is called Jivatma. Jivatma iti. Then the Samane Vikshe, Purushaha, next mantra, the same Vriksha, the same tree, Samanam. Samanam doesn't mean similar, same Vriksha. These two birds, Suparna, Sayuja Sakaya, Suparna, Nimagnaha. Purushaha, here Purushaha, Samane Purushaha, referring to Jivatma, the same Vriksha, Nimagnaha, immersed in Nimagnaha, Majdatu, Nimagnaha, it is immersed. It is immersed in, it is Nimagnaha, Mugyamanaha, Anishaya, Shochati, helplessly Shochati, grieves. Completely immersed. Completely immersed means Abhimana with the Shariram. So completely immersed with the Abhimana, with the Sharira Manasangata, therefore Bhugyamanaha, therefore Anishaya, helplessly, Shochati, grieves, it is subject to Shoka and Moga. When this bird sees Anyam Pashyati, when it becomes a Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampannaha, when it has done the homework, the Viveka, Atmanatma Viveka, then what happens is, when Eda Anyam Pashyati, when it sees the other one is the Sakshi, as Sakshi, which is Dushtam, which is adorable, Ishaha, who is the Eda Anyam Pashyati, and Pashyati Anyam is Ishaha. When it sees means knows. Here darshanam is jnanam. The word pashyati is seeing. Seeing means knowing. When this Pakshi knows the other one as the Lord, Isham, that is the Sakshi Chaitanya, which is Paramatma, which is Jushtam, Puja Yogyaha Jushtam, Asya Mahimanam, recognizes the glory of Paramatma. And what happens to that? Vita Shokaha Bhavati, it becomes free from shoka, becomes free from samsara. This is jnanam, aikya jnanam. When it recognizes the swarupa to be that of the Paramatma, then its limitations are dropped. That is, dropping of limitations cognitively, it is dropped and understands that agam Paramatmanaha na bhinnaha, agam sakshi chaitanyam, sada sakshi, sada bhati, tato samsari, sada vimuktaha, therefore vita shokaha bhavati. So Isham Mahimanam Asya Mahimanam Yada Pashyati, Yada Janati, Tada Vita Shokaha Bhavati. Tada Vita Shokaha Bhavati iti. Then the third mantra. The third mantra is an explanation of the last two lines of the previous mantra. Yada Pashyati Dushtam Anyam Isham Asya Mahimanam. That is explained here. Yada Pashyaha, Yada Pashyate Rukma Varnam. Pashyaha referring to the person, a discriminating person, a viveki, pashyaha, pashyati iti pashyaha, sadhana chatushtaya sampannaha, a viveki, that is pashyaha, pashyate, da janati, recognizes the sakshi chaitanyam, which is rukma varnam. Rukma varnam is another word for self-evident. We have seen before also avihi. Avihi is swaprakasha. Vashakara, give the meaning. Avihi is swaprakasha. Here it is rukma varnam. Rukma varnam, golden color. There is no color. It is self-evident. Rukma varnam. It is self-evident. Doesn't require any anubhava to know it. It is obtained in every anubhava. That way self-evident. Pratibodha viditam matam. Rukma varnam. Literally meaning shining like gold. But it is nothing gold here. It is self-evident. It's an expression. Self-effulgent. So Rukma varnam. Kartaram. Yada Pashyaha, the adhikari, sadhana chatushtaya sampanna adhikari, Rukma varnam kartaram Isham. Isham is Ishvara, Paramatma. Kartaram is, Kartaram here it is not the Karta. Here Karta is Karta of this Jagat, not Karta of any particular action. Ishvara is Karta. Ishvara can be Karta. At the same time, he can be Asangaha. Whereas Ajnana Jiva, if is a Karta, is Sangaha. So there is a difference when we say Karta. When we say Karta with regard to Jivatma and with regard to Paratma, there is a huge difference. Paramatma can be a karta without being a karta. Tasya kartaram apimam vidhi akartaram avyayam chaturvarni maya srishtam gunakarma vibhagashaha. That's Bhagavan said in the Gita. He said, Tasya kartaram apimam vidhi akartaram avyayam. May you know me to be akarta, though I created this. It is not contradiction. It is not contradiction in what it is. I created this, at the same time I did not create. It means that kartrutva bhava, it is not there. In the presence of which everything happens. In that sense, karta, but he is not really the karta. Whereas jiva is karta, therefore, sukha dukkha phalam swadu atti, like that bird. So therefore, kartaram, the creator of this jagat, jagat, jagat srishti, laya karta, jagat karta, srishti karta, laya karta. The jagat karanam, brahma, karta. So therefore, that is isham, kartaram, yada, brahma yonim. The one who is the cause of Brahma is here Hiranyagarbha, yes, in otherwise Brahma is yoni of Brahma, then what could be what could be the yoni of that? The question will come. So the meaning of the word Brahma is to be understood here. It is Hiranyagarbha. That's why Bhashyam is required. Otherwise, Brahma yoni means Brahmanaha yoni. The yoni of Brahma, the cause of Brahma. Brahma is causeless cause. How can Brahma have any cause? It means Brahma, the word is Hiranyagarbha. It is Hiranyagarbha, it is Brahmaji. So Hiranyagarbha, the one who is the cause of even Brahma, that is Hiranyagarbha. So Purusham is Natu Pura Ushati iti Purushaha here. It is not about the Jivatma, it is Sarvam Purayati. The word Purusha can refer to Jiva as well as Paramatma, but here it is referred to Paramatma because Kartaram, Isham, all these words are there for Purusham. So the one who sees Paramatma as oneself, there is Jnanam, Aikya Jnanam. And the Aikya Jnanam happens, what happens? Tada is Jnane Prapte, Vidwan, the wise person, Jnani, Punya Pape Vidhuya, destroys all the Punya Papa. He doesn't destroy, all the Punya Papa just falls apart from him. Then he becomes Niranjanaha. Punya Papas are the Anjana. Now that has gone, therefore it becomes Niranjanaha, Niranjanaha, Punya Pape Viduya, Tada Vidwan, Paramam Samyam Upaiti. He attains the Samyam, total oneness with Brahma, Paramatma. It is Aikyam. Veda Buddhi, Nashaka Bhavati, Aikyam. Jivatma, Paramatma, Aikya, Aikyam. That is Moksha, Moksham Upaiti. He becomes free. So when the first bird realizes that it is not different from the second bird, is Sakshi, then the bird becomes free. Abhinna, Aham Paramatmanaha Abhinnaha iti Jnatva, therefore Aham Shuddha Chaitanyam, Tato Atmanaha Bhinnaha, Aham Jagatta Karta, Kartaram Isham, Purusham, Brahmayonim, Yada Pashyate, Ahamiti, Tada Paramam Samim Upaiti. It is an expression, Vimuktaha Bhavati. Tada Vimuktaha Bhavati. Niranjanaha son, being free from the Anjana stains. The stains in the form of this Papa Punya, that alone binds a Jiva into the samsara. Therefore, Niranjanaha, Niranjanaha. So Niranjanaha, Nirlepaha, Vigata Kleshaha, Bhashyakara says, all the Klesha, the Pancha Kleshas which are talked about in the Yoga Sutra, all the Kleshas So all the klesha, vigata kleshaha, son becomes free. Therefore, paramam samyam upaiti means moksha. Samyam upaiti pratipadyate. Iti the third mantra. Then the fourth mantra. Fourth mantra again the paramam samyam upaiti, that is a palam. That is the aikya jnana palam. That palam, the topic is continued. And here you can see that palam, the palam is presented as presented through glorifying the jnani. The jnani who enjoys this Swarupananda. Atma is always Ananda Swarupa. Because of his jnanam, therefore he enjoys this Ananda. So the Ananda what the jnani enjoys, that is the palam of this Aikya Jnanam. So through describing the jnani palam is presented. Here the word pranaha is used. Pranaha doesn't mean pancha prana. Prana is a name for Atma. Pranasya pranaha. Pranasya pranaha means that which makes a prana. What is that? Atma. That which, because of which the prana functions. That because of which the prana gets life. That is pranaha, that is Atma, Brahma ityartaha. So therefore Vidwan, Vijanan, having known. The previous mantra, Pashyaha Pashyate, having known, therefore Vijanan Vidwan, having recognized that Pranaha, Brahma, Sarvabhutehi Vibhati. Sarvabhutehi Vibhati, the Jnani, the Vidwan, he recognizes that Brahma, which alone appears in the form of the entire creation, Sarvabhutehi Vibhati. Sarvabhutehi Vibhati, in the form of these, the entire Srishti, Bhutehi Vibhati, manifest, shines, the form of all beings. The Brahma, it is Brahma alone shines. Therefore, it means Sarvatra Brahma Darshanam. Everything is Ishvara. Everything is Brahma. Sarvatra Brahma Darshanam. So, therefore, the Jagat is not different from Brahma. All the beings are Brahma. Therefore, he has got Sama Buddhi. He has got the Buddhi, Sama Buddhi, Brahma Buddhi, Vidya Vinay Sampanne, Brahmane Grihasthini. Shunischeva Shvake cha Panditaha Samadarshanaha, the Samadarshanam, Brahmadarshanam. Jnana Vijnana Truptatva Kutasto Vijitendriyaha, Yukta Ituchate Yogi, Samaloshtash Makanchanaha, Sugran Mitra Yudasena Madhyastha, Veshavandushu, Sadhushvapicha Papeshu, Samabuddhir Vishishyate, that Samabuddhi, which is because of Vijnanam. With regard to things, Samaloshtash Makanchanaha, with regard to beings also. With regard to beings and things. It means with regard to this Jagat, Sarva, Bhutehi, Vibhati, that Brahma alone shines in the form of this entire Jagat, consist of beings and things. So having known this Vidwan, Ativadi na bhavati, it means it becomes known. Because it's full, complete. Purnaha, therefore, Ativadi, yes, got nothing to do, therefore, what can he talk? There are no Vishaya. There is no Vishaya because only when Anatma Vishayas are there, one can really talk. With regard to Atma Vishaya, Atma, there cannot be any talk. Probably that is why Mauna Vyakya Prakritita Parabrahma Tattvam Vivanam. All talks are only in the world with regard to Anatma. With regard to Atma, there cannot be any talk. Nobody talks because once you know, you become silent. Kandavar Vindila, they say in Tamil. Similarly, when you see, When you know, you remain silent. You go to silence. Therefore, Ativadi. Dvaitavadi na bhavati. Ativadi means Dvaitavadi. Only Dvaitavadi talks. Advaitavadi never talks. He just remains with himself. Therefore, Atma Kridaha. Atmaneva Santushtaha. Atma Kridaha. Atma Triptihi. Atma Ratihi. All these words describe the person, the Vidwan. Kriyavan. Atma Kridaha. Atma Ratihi. He revels in himself. Kriyavan. Kriyavan is after Jnanam, I should be Kriyavan. It means he is engaged in Loka Sangraha. Loka Sangrahartam Karma Karoti. Dharmanevi Samsiddhim Astitaha Janakadayaha. Loka Sangrahamevapi Sampashyan Kartum Argasi Yata Bhagavan said in Gita. So Loka Sangrahartam Karma Karoti. Doesn't have to do anything. The Jnani. His presence itself blesses the entire society. His whole life is a blessing. But that is also a Kriya. That is also in the form of just being present, being available, blessing the world. Loka Sangraha, Kriyavan. Or he engages in karma. Bhagavad Pada, he traveled the entire Bharat. Loka Sangraha, established but and had temples, etc. Therefore, Loka Sangraha, teach and taught the people. All these are Loka Sangraha, Karmani, Kriyavan. So that person is, Jnani is, Brahmavidam Varishtaha, is the Brahmavidam Varishtaha, is the greatest among the Jnani. Yeah, the greatest. There are no gradations among the Jnani. In some context, we will see the Sapta Bhumika, which is talked about in the Yoga Vasishta. Some gradations are given, but there is no gradation in terms of Jnanam. With regard to Jnanam, there are no Taratamya among the Jnanis. Jnani is Jnani. The Brahmavit Variya, Brahmavit Varishtaha, they say. They're all just expression. But it's not the not the gradation with regard to the Jnanam. With regard to Jnanam, there are no gradation, there are no comparison. There is no comparison. Jnani is a Jnani. So, or we can take Brahma Vidam is the one who knows Brahma, but he knows Brahma but there are obstacles. He knows Brahma, but he is with obstacles. Therefore, Mananam and Nididhyasanam is pending. Or the person has done Shravanam Mananam, but Nididhyasanam, yes, not now got Nishta. That person's Brahmavit only, but he has not done Nididhyasanam, he has not gained Nishta in that. Therefore, if we can take, that is another Brahmavit. And another Brahmavit is the one who is Stita Prajna, Brahmi Stitihi, Jnana Nishta. So that person can be called Varishtaha. So possible. So Brahmavidam Varishtaha iti. All are knower of Brahma only. But that person who has Jnanam, and the Jnanam is obstacles free. There are no obstacles. And Samshaya Ragita Jnanam, Viparaya Ragita Jnanam. Therefore, he has done Shamanam and Mananam. Therefore, by that, all the doubts are removed. And also, because of the Vidyasan, the Viparya, all the habitual mistakes, that also he has overcome. Therefore, Brahmavidam Varishtaha, we can say. That way also it is possible. Brahmavidam Varishtaha Bhavati. That is the fourth the mantra. Then in the fifth mantra, here the Atma Jnana Sadhanani. They are mentioned. Atma Jnana Sadhanani. Here the Upanishad highlights, that is Angiras, highlights four important disciplines. Satyam, Satyena Labhyaha, Tapasa, Esha Atma Labhyaha, Samyak Jnanena Labhyaha, Brahmacharyena Labhyaha. And Nityam, the word should be added to all the four. Satyam. The word Satyam is being truthful, truthfulness, not telling lies. That is Satyam. Satyam is an important sadhana. So one has to be ethical. One has to be ethical. One has to refrain from telling lies. Satyam. Then tapaha. Tapaha. Manascha indriyanam aikagryam paramam tapaha. Bhashakara says. So tapaha, austerity. One's readiness to give up the physical comforts. So and practice manaha, the manascha indriyanam aikagryam, focusing the mind, withdrawing the sense organs, and concentrating the mind on the applying the mind on the pursuit of jnanam. That is tapaha. Depending on the quarters, we give the meaning tapaha. Tapasa, brahma, vijignyasasva. That tapaha is vichara. Here tapaha as a sadhanani, atmajnana sadhanam. It means it is austerity. And brahmacharyam. One has to be pure in terms of in terms of the action which is done through body and words and thought. That is purity, brahmacharyam. Samyak jnanam. Samyak jnanam is vichara, the inquiry into the Atma through Shastram. Of course, it is through Shastram because Pramanam is Vedanta Shastram. That's why Samyak Jnanam. Jnanam can be Samyak only when the appropriate Pramanam is used. Therefore, Samyak Jnanam, which implies Guru and Vedanta Shastram. So, therefore, these four, and this should be, all these four should be Nityam. Nityam Satyena, Nityam Tapasa, Nityam Samyak Jnanena, Nityam Brahmacharyena, Yatayaha Pashyanti. Yam Pashyanti Yatayaha Kshinadoshaha. Yatayaha Pashyanti. Yatayaha is Mumukshavaha. Not only sannyasis, Mumukshavaha. And they are Kshinadoshaha. Kshinadoshaha, Ragadveshas are Kshinaha. They have become weakened. Ragadveshas because of the Bhagiranga sadhana, Karma Yoga, Ragadveshas have left them. Yatayaha Pashyanti. They discover. Pashyanti. What do they discover? The Brahma, which is Jyotirmayaha, which is another word for self-effulgent. Jyotirmayaha, Avihi, Varnam, all these mean Atma, which is self-evident. Shubhraha, Shuddhaha, Ityartaha. And where it is? Antasharire, within the Sharira, one's own body. Antasharire. Putra Antasharire, Aparokshataya Pashyanti. Hridaya Guhayam. Hridaya Guhayam, not given, but we know. In the mind, Hridaya Guhayam, Aparokshataya, Hridaya Guhayam Pashyanti. Aham Sakshi, Atma, Aham Brahma Asmiti, Pashyanti. Kshinadoshaha, Sanyatayaha Pashyanti. The four sadhanas were talked about. Among the four sadhanas, the important sadhana is the Upanishad highlight Satyam. Satyameva Jayate, the most famous statement. Satyameva Jayate, the truthfulness. Satyam is Vyavaharik, the Vyavaharika Satyam, Paramarthika Satyam. Paramarthika Satyam, Brahma, to know Brahma, to gain Brahma. One has to be Satyaman in the Vyavahara. One has to be ethical. One has to be a Dharmikaha, Dharmavan. That is why Satyam is highlighted. Satyam eva jayate. Na Andritam. Andritam seems to win, but it cannot win. So Satyam as a sadhana is important for Atma Jnanam. Satyam is important for Upasaka. Here we will be seeing the Krama Mukti is going to be talked about because Satyena Pantaha Vitataha Devayanaha. So Devayanaha, as we saw that Uttarayana, Dakshinayana in the Gita, the two margas through which the Jiva travels after death, traveling through the Krishna Marga, the Jiva returns back, traveling through the Shukla Marga. The Jiva goes to the higher Loka, Brahma Loka. So that is Jnana, the path. The path which are presided over by the corresponding devatas. The corresponding devatas, which also we saw in the Gita, Agni, Jyoti, Ragashuklaha, Shanmasa, Uttarayanam, all these are devatas. Tatra Prayata Gachanti, Brahma Vido, Janaha. So traveling through that path, the Upasakas reach the Brahmaloka. Having gone to Brahmaloka Prapti through Saguna Ishvara Upasana, Dhyanam, having gone there, received Upadesha, they receive Upadesha from Brahmaji and gained Mukti, that is called Krama Mukti. So that Devayana Marga Yatra, traveling through Devayana Marga, Upasana go to Brahmaloka through Devayana Marga, Devayana another but Uttarayana Marga, they travel through Shukla Marga, the Marga which is blessed by the 5 Devatas, presiding deities, whether you can call it as Devayana Marga or Shuklagati, all same. Here Devayana. And Upasaka is Upasaka. Upasaka travels Pantaha is path, Marga. And it is Satya and Vitataha, it is paved with Satya, truthfulness. So therefore they travel Aptakamaha. Aptakamaha means they have fulfilled all the desires, therefore there are no other desires left out, only desires. Therefore Rishayaha is here Upasakaha, Upasakaha, Yena Akramanti. They travel through this path, goes to Brahmaloka, Yatra Brahmaloke. That Brahmaloka Satyasya Paramam Nidanam Asti. That is the ultimate, the goal or the benefit of being truthful. Therefore, they attain Brahma Param Brahma, having gone to Brahmaloka. Therefore, it is Krama Mukti. For Krama Mukti, Satyam is important sadhana. Not only for Krama Mukti, not only for Upasaka, whether it is Upasaka or whether it is a Jnani. So, these sadhanas are important. Upasakas cannot get moksha. Cannot get moksha if they lack Satyam. Because Satyam is not there, Jnanam cannot take place. When Jnanam cannot happen, then there is no Krama. So, even though they travel through Shukla Marga, but if they don't have Satya, they cannot gain moksha. So, therefore, Satyam, that is highlighted. So, through Upasana, they cannot get moksha. Through Upasana, directly they cannot moksha. They go to Loka, and to go to the Loka, Satyam as a sadhana is important. That is what the mantra highlights. And of course, this Satyam as a sadhana is all the more important for the Jnanis. Jnani means the mukshus. So that is the importance of the sadhana. Then the next mantra, the 7th mantra, where the Upanishad presents that they go to Brahmaloka, and there the Nidhanam, that is Paramam Nidhanam. Nidhanam means Nidiyate iti Nidhanam, treasure. What is that treasure? That is explained. Satyasya Paramam Nidhanam. Satyasya Paramam Nidhanam Yatra Brahmaloke Vatate, they gain. That is, what is the Nidhanam? What is the treasure? The treasure is Jnanam. And that is Atma. That is explained in the 7th mantra. What is the treasure? The treasure is Brahma. The treasure is Brahma. That Brahma is Tat Brigatu. The Brahma is limitless. Brigat. From that Brig Dhatu only Brahma, the word comes. That Tat Brigatu. Brigat Akashadi. Akashadehi api Brigat. It is Brigat greater than Akasha. Akasha is Sukshma and Brahma is Sukshmatram. Therefore Brigat. And it is Divyam. Chaitanya Rupam. Divyam. Self-effulgent. Again self-evident. Another word. Divyam. Brigaccha tad Divyam. Achintya Rupam. Not available for any conception. Achintya Rupam. You cannot objectify it because it is you. Therefore, Sukshma Sukshmataram, subtler than the subtlest. Anoraniyan, Bhagato Makiyan. Bhagato Makiyan, Brigat. Anoraniyan, Sukshma Sukshmataram. That Brahma Vibhati appears as everything. Vividam Bhati, Iti Vibhati. Vividam Bhati, Sudurat Sudure, farther than the farthest and closer than the closest. Tadiha Antikecha, nearby. So all these opposite words deny any limitation which are imposed on Brahma. That is why opposite words are used. So the seventh mantra is a commentary on the word Nidhanam, explaining the treasure. So and this where it is there, Guhayam Nigitam, it is available in one's Hridaya Guha, of whom Pashyatsu, in the mind of all the beings, living beings, Pashyatsu, Hridaya Guhayam Vartate. So therefore, it is not an Anubhava which has to be gained. It is Brahma Anubhava is there in every Anubhava. So that Brahma Anubhava, because Nigitam Guhayam, where it is that Brahma is in the Nigitam, it is located in the Hridaya Guha. Therefore, recognizing this Brahma in every experience, that is Brahma Anubhava. There is no separate experience. The one who looks for separate experience is Ajnani. Jnani knows that it is Aham Asmi iti. Then this subtlety, the Sukshmatvam of Brahma is presented in the next, in the mantra, next mantra. In this mantra, Sukshmatvam presented, and because of Sukshmatvam, how this Brahma cannot be known by other Pramana is pointed out in the following mantra. Brahma is Sukshmataram. Because it is Sukshmam, therefore it is Nagrigyate Chakshusha, not available for Chakshurindriya, not available for objectification. Because it is Sukshmataram. And it is Dirgata. There also, we don't, that is all, because it is so huge, you cannot, it's so big. Therefore, we don't have the, any Indriya, Jnanendriya to objectify. Something is very big, we cannot see. Something small also we cannot see. Out of our, the scope of the Indriya Vishaya, it is Atindriya Vishaya. Therefore, Chakshusha na grigyate. If there is no sound, you cannot hear. If there is sound beyond a certain decibel, you cannot hear also. Therefore, two extremes look similar. So therefore, the Brahma is, which is subtler than the subtlest and greater than the greatest, not available for any other means of knowledge. And that is said, Nagrigyate Chakshusha. By Chakshush means not only the eyes, it is by that we can bring all other sense organs, not available for Jnanendriya, not only through eyes. Vacha is Karmendriya. You cannot express. Eto vacho nivartante aprapi manasa saha. Only when it is objectifiable for the Jnanendriya, then it can be expressed through Karmendriya. Therefore, when you cannot conceive of that, Achintya Rupam, therefore, how can we express it? Therefore, it is not available for speech also. Vacha pinagrigyate. Na anyehi devehi. Upanishad says anyehi devehi, other Indriyani also. And Karmanava, action also. Kritena karmana akritaha mokshaha na bhavati. Therefore, karmana, any amount of karma, action also cannot reveal Brahma. It doesn't mean one should not do karma. Karma is for chitta shuddhi. Chittasya shuddhaye karma natu vastu palabhyate. So, karmana va na iti. then katam jnana prasadena. Jnana prasada is vishuddha sattvaha shuddhanta karanena. That jnanam is buddhi. That in which jnanam takes place, that by which jnanam takes place. Jnayate anena iti. That is buddhi. So jnana prasadaha, buddhi prasadaha is buddhi, the antakaranam should be relatively calm, quite tranquil, but jnana prasada, it means sattva guna pradana antakaranam, that is vishuddha sattva, jnana prasadena, vishuddha sattvaha tam nishkalam pashyate. Tam nishkalam is that Brahma which doesn't have avayava, avayava ragitam pashyate dhyayamanaha is nididhyasanam, inquiry, jnana yogena, shravana manana, nididhyasanam, that is by that Vedanta Shravana Nididhyasanaihi Pashyaha, the sadhana chatushthaya sampannaha pashyati. Jnana prasadena vishuddha sattvaha tam brahma nishkalam brahma pashyate dhyayamanaha san. Dhyayamanaha referring to the sadhana jnana yoga. Jnana yoga anga is shravanam mananam nididhyasanam. So having done shravanam, then mananam and nididhyasanam tena pashyate. He knows, he sees, janati brahma. Then this, we just, when the Upanishads, having said this, then how this Brahma can be known? It cannot be known through Indriyas, Karmendriya, Jnanendriya, Karma. And how can this Brahma be recognized, be known? Anything, anything, any knowledge of anything can take place only in the mind. It can take place only with the help of mind and in the mind only. Atma is self-evident. That also is known through the mind alone, the vritti. Here, vritti jnanam. Vritti jnanam, when we say vritti, mind is involved. Mind cannot objectify, but mind it is known. Yeshaha, because ajnana vritti is that is knocked off. Jnana vritti. So jnana vritti happens only in the antakaranam. Therefore, yeshaha atma, which is anuhu atma, chetasa veditavyaha. Yeshonuratma chetasa veditavyaha. Manasa eva veditavyaha. The Kathoparishad we have seen. Manasa eva iti. Therefore, chetasa, manasa, yeshaha atma, even though it is anuhu. Atma is anuhu, it's a subtle matter. Therefore, the mind has to become relatively subtle to know the atma. That is why sadhana chatushtaya, sampatti, etc. So, therefore, one should know atma through the mind. Even though yato vacho nivartante, aprapya manasa saha, when we say, there manasa is asamskrita manasa, asamskrita manasa vedram na bhavati. Samskrita manasa veda. Therefore, manasa is samskrita manasa. And this atma is known, recognized where? Yasmin referring to the sharira. Yasmin sharire pranaha panchada samvimesha. The prana has entered fivefold pranaha pranaha panchada. Pranaivi saha sarvam chittam otam. The entire the mind along with the sense organs, it is pervaded by Chaitanyam. Therefore, the Chaitanyam can be recognized in the antakaranam. In the antakaranam, it is known. Yasmin Vishuddhe, Manasi Vishuddhe, in the Shuddhantakarana, Yasmin Vishuddhe, Atma, Yeshakatma, Anuhuatma, Vibhati. Vibhati shines, it is known. Visheshana Vibhati. So in the Shuddhantakarana, it becomes more evident. It is always evident, but becomes evident, is available for knowing in the Shuddhantakarana. When the mind becomes pure, the Atma becomes evident. As when the water, when the agitation of the water stops, when the water comes to standstill, then we can see the sediment. Similarly, the when the mind becomes pure, then Atma becomes evident. Then in the next mantra, Jnana Stuti. Jnana Stuti is done because the Upanishad going to conclude. Therefore, the Stuti. In fact, it started with the Stuti. You can see that is Upakrama and Upasamhara also Jnanam. The beginning, the Jnanam is glorified through glorifying the Sampradaya, the Acharya and the Shishya, and concluding also the Jnana Stuti. So Jnanam is Upakrama and Upasamhara. That is the topic. And Jnana Stuti is done through Jnani Stuti. So Jnani is glorified. How is he glorified? This Jnani, Vishuddha Sattvaha, this the Jnani, tam tam yam yam lokam manasa sambibhati. Yam yam lokam manasa sambibhati tam tam lokam jayate. Jnani doesn't have to gain anything. Being being Brahma, therefore he recognizes himself everywhere. Therefore, what loka he will desire? So manasa sambibhati. It means yan kaman kamayate. Whatever kama and kama, which the kama wherever it is available, whichever loka he desires, he will get it because he is Brahma. But not only for him, he says that the mantra, the Upanishad says, for the sake of his bhakta devotees, bhuti kamaha, people approach jnani, having having the having desires, material desires, bhuti kamaha, dharmartha kamaha, Pradhana Purushaha, they approach the Jnani. Therefore, yam yam lokam manasa sambibhati. Yansya kaman kamayate. Whatever the loka, the bhakta, the devotees desire, for them he grants them. Jnani doesn't require those lokas, but bhaktaha require because they are bhuti kamaha. They are desirous of prosperity, material prosperity. Therefore, they come and worship him and he blesses them with whatever they ask. Not only the lokas, all the objects of desires also he grants them. So therefore, yam yam lokam manasa samvibhati kaha vishuddha sattvaha. Yansya kaman kamayate. Tam tam lokam jayate. That loka he gets it. Tansya kaman, also the kama, the objects of desires. Therefore, the Upanishad says, Tasmad Atmagyam Archayet Bhutikamaha. Therefore, Bhutikamaha, those who are desirous of material prosperity, let them worship the Bhutikamaha, let them worship the Jnani. Bhutikamaha Atmagyam Archayet Pujayet, so that their wishes are fulfilled. They go to the lokas and they gain the objects of desires, whatever it is, they gain it. So that is the blessing of worshipping the Jnani. This is a Sakama Puja. This is puja done by the Bhutikamaha because they are Sakamis, they are Dharmartha Kama Pradhana Purushaha, therefore they get blessings from the Jnani. In this way, the Jnani blesses the people. That is why people worship the Jnani. Not only for Jnanam. There are some people who ask only for Jnanam. That is going to be talked about next sloka. Bhutikamas are blessed with all the bhutis. What about Mukti Kamaha? They are blessed with Jnanam. They are blessed with the teaching. So that is the next kanda. First mantra of the next kanda begins. It continues with the glorification of Jnani, where the Jnani Stuti continues, and this kanda talks about, deals with Jnana Sadhanam, Jnanam, Jnana Palam, and Jnani Stuti. So Jnani Stuti, the topic continues. So the Jnani is glorified here as is Mukti Pradata. Saveda Paramam Brahma Veda. Saha etat Paramam Brahma Veda. Even Mukta Jnani is Jivaneva Muktaha. Because Vidwan Vijanan Nativari Atma Kridaha Kriyavan Brahma Vidam Varishtaha, that Jnani Jivan Muktaha Jnani Paramam Brahma Veda. Yes, recognized, is known that Parama Brahma What type of Brahma is that? It is Yatra Vishwam Nigitam. It is Dhama, Brahma Dhama. That is a Dhama, that is a support of the entire Jagat. Yatra Ismin, with Vishwam, this Akilam Jagat Nigitam. It is a support, Adhisthana of the entire Srishti. Sarvasya Adharam. Sarvasya Adharam Achintya Rupam. You say, Sarvasya Adharam. Saha Brahma Yetad Brahma Veda. Saha Jnani Veda. Atmatvena. Aprokshataya. Avedena Veda Ityartaha. Ye Purusham Upasate. People who worship him, what do they get? Te Upasate. Ye Upasate te Dhiraha. Dhiraha means Vivekinaha. Therefore they ask for Jnanam. Upasate means it is not just doing Upasana. They Upasate means they ask for knowledge. Jnanam Upasate. Those who worship. Tadvitti Pradipatena Pariprashtena Sevaya. That is Upasana. So if here means why Upasate is taken to be the Upadesha or it is Jnanam, because Akamaha, the word is there. Ye Akamaha Upasate. That is why Akamaha is they don't have any kama. They don't have the kama for the objects of the word. They are Atma Kamaha, Akamaha. They are Akamaha, Atma Icha. They are only Atma Icha. Mumukshu. That's why Moksha Icha. Mumukshavaha ityartaha. Akamaha is they don't have any kama. Akamaha referring to the people. Ye Akamaha upasate, Purusham upasate. They whom they worship the Jnani. Therefore, Dhiraha, the Dhiraha also the word tells that they are not Mudaha, therefore Atmanatma Vivekinaha, therefore Dhiraha. So Akamaha Dhiraha upasate Yam Purusham, therefore te Dhiraha, they are blessed with what? They are blessed with Jnanam, and the result of the Jnanam is Shukram Ativartanti. Shukram referring to the Bija, Manusha Bija. That it means this Janma. They become free from this Janma, Punarjanma. Shukram Ativartanti is Punarjanma Ativartanti, there is no Janma. So Jnani blesses the Akamas, the Dhiraha with Jnanam. How? That is only by teaching, Upadesha. Therefore Upasate. Upasate means they ask for Jnanam and they are blessed with Jnanam. By Jnanam, the teaching, Jnani blesses. The last mantra of the previous kanda is dealt with Bhuti Kama. Here it is Moksha Kamaha, Akamaha. Both are blessed. So Jnani blesses the people with both material prosperity as well as spiritual knowledge. Then the next mantra, how this Jnanam can prevent one from taking Janma, Punarjanma. Katam Punarjanma Abhavaha Bhavati. Punarjanma is because of Kama. Kama is the cause. Desire is the cause. Being Akamaha, no Kama, therefore no Punarjanma. Kaman yaha kamayate manyamanaha. Saha tatratra jayate. He who desires, yaha who desires things, he will be born in such a place, such circumstances, to fulfill those desires. So desire is a cause for Janma. Being Akamaha, therefore where is the desire? There is no desire, and therefore they are Paryapta Kamaha. Paryapta Kamaha, the desires are all almost as fulfilled. Paryapta Kamaha. And Kritatmanaha was fulfilled himself through Jnanam. Kritaha Atma. Jivatma, Paramatma, yasya saha. That is, who has understood that Atma is Paramatma, Kritatma, referring to the person who has gained his jnanam and who has gained his jnanam because he is free from desires. Paryapta kamaha san, Kritatmanaha bhavati, tasya, tasya punarjanma na bhavati. How does it happen? Because all the kamas, ikaiva praviliyante. When the jnani discovers the Purnatvam, what happens? What happens to him? When he discovers the Purnatvam, he becomes free from samsara. Samsara in the form of seeking limited things. Why should you seek other things? Why should a person having gained jnanam seek other things? Because sarve kamaha iga eva praliyanti. All the kamas, they resolve in this jnanam, gaining which there is nothing else to be gained. Gaining which, as Shaunaka asked, gaining which there is nothing else to be gained. Therefore, all the desires resolve in this. Therefore, Punitasya Punarjanmana Vidyate. So, having received jnanam, teaching, upadesha from the Vidwan, the person becomes free from samsara. So, therefore, kama is the cause for Punarjanma. And Punarjanma is not there for akamaha. Then the next mantra, where Upanishad presents sadhana. The particular sadhana is important, in the presence of which all the other sadhanas gets validation. What is that sadhana? That is mumukshutvam. Ayam atma parvachanena na labhyaha. So, Vitireka Mukena, here the Upanishad says Atma is not obtained, not gained by Pravachanam, not just by study. It doesn't mean study is not required. Study is important. Pravachanena, Pravachanam, na Medaya, not just by Meda Shakti. It doesn't mean Meda Shakti is not required. It is a way of expression to highlight the sadhana, primary sadhana. Na Bhaguna Shutena, not by just listening. Then what is that sadhana, the presence of which all this gets validated? Yam tasya yesha atma swam vimanute tena labhyaha. Yam eva yesha vrinute tena labhyaha tasya yesha atma vrinute tanum swam. We have seen this line, interpreted this line in fact in two ways. That is, one has to have clear idea about what one wants. Purushartha nishchaya. Tena eva labhyaha. By him alone this is gained. Moksha is gained. By whom? Who has got clarity with regard to the Purushartha. Tasya Yesha Atma Swam Tanum Vimrunte. Paramatma, Brahma reveals its nature to Tanums. Tanum is Swarupam. Reveals to such a sincere seeker. It means he has to choose. Varanam, that is a sadhanam. Tatsavitur Varenyam. So you have to choose to know. Therefore, Purushartha Nishya, clarity, and of course, Vairagya. That's why Mumukshutvam, Icha for moksha. Icha for moksha will be there only when there is vairagya and there is clarity with regard to what one wants to gain. So therefore, purushartha nishchaya. So mumukshutvam vina moksha na labhyate. One who is mumukshu. To him the Atma will reveal himself. He has to gain. There is no other way. Therefore, that is what is highlighted here. Mumukshutvam, tivra mumukshutvam. Then the next mantra where four sadhanas are talked about. Ayam Atma, it is talked about the four sadhanas, are the need for four sadhanas in a negative way. It is talked about. Balahinena na labhyaha ayam Atma. It means balam is required. Pramadat na labhyaha. It means pramada should not be there. Apramadaha. Tapasa vapya lingat. Tapasa vapya lingat means alingat. Tapasa vapya lingat. Alingat means nalinga, alinga. Nor by tapas. Alinga. Tapasa alinga. That is without linga. Without linga. Here, alinga means without renunciation, without tyaga. Without tyaga, no renunciation. And tapaha. Tapaha means knowledge. So Atma cannot be gained by a weak person. Atma cannot be gained by one who is indifferent. Atma cannot be gained by even the knowledge without renunciation, without tyaga. So knowledge should be backed up by tyaga. So tapasa vapyalinga. Ete hi upayehi yaha yatate. Vidwan. Tasya Atma vishate brahmadhama. Yaha yatate, the one who works, who strives. Ete hi upayehi, by this upaya. He attains brahmadhama. Vishati. Sah yashaha Atma Brahma Vishati. So he gains, he enters Brahmadhama. So therefore, four Balam, Apramadaha, Tapaha, Lingam. Lingam means Vairagyam, otherwise Sannyasa. Sannyasi is Vairagi. Therefore, Lingam, the word is Vairagyam. Ragadvesha Atitatvam. That is what Linga. Alinga means without Tyaga, without renunciation. Without renunciation, without being free from Ragadvesha. That is what a sannyasi is. Tapaha is Jnanam, Vedanta Vichara. Vedanta Vichara should be accompanied by Tyaga. Therefore, Tapasa Vapyalinga. If it is not accompanied by Tyaga, by Sannyasa, Vairagyam, then that Jnanam will not fructify. That's why Tapasa. Therefore, Tapaha, which is accompanied by Lingam, Sannyasa, then Apramadaha. Pramada means alertness, Chittas, Ekagrata. Balam is strength. Here it is not the physical strength, Buddhi Balam. The intellect, Buddhi should be sharp. Therefore, all these are required by this upaya. Yaha, Etagi upaya yaha, Vidwan, that intelligent person, Vidwan. Tasya Atma Vishate Brahmadhama. His Atma is Jivatma. Brahmadhama Vishate, merged with Paramatma, becomes one with Paramatma. It means he alone will get moksha. Iti. Then the next mantra, the Jnana Palam, is presented in a twofold ways, which is the form of Jivan Mukti and Videka Mukti. Jivan eva mukti, Jivan mukti. Jivan mukti is mukti eva. And after the fall of the shariram, what happens? It continues to be free. That is Videka Mukti. Therefore, really it is not two mukti. This mukti is moksha is moksha. And here it is presented in the form of stages which the person has to undergo. That is given. First, samprapya yena rishayaha. Samprapya yenam rishayaha jnanatuptaha kritatmanaha vitaragaha prashantaha. All these words qualify the jnani, or all these words can be presented in the form of stages which a person has to go through to become a jnani, to gain jnanam, become a jnani. Kritatmanaha vitaragaha prashantaha te sarvatah prapya dhiraha Viktatmanaha sarvam eva avishanti. That is important. Sarvam eva avishanti. He pervades everything. Everything is Brahma. He pervades. Brahma means enter into Brahma. Enter into Brahma. Brahma is not a place to enter into. He becomes one with Brahma. It means he becomes not different from Brahma, not separate from Brahma. Who begins with Dhiraha. That is the first stage. Dhiraha Viveki. Then he becomes Vitaragaha, Viveka, followed by Vairagya, Vitaragaha, Vitaha, Ragaha, Yasmat. It means Vairagya. Therefore, all these are the qualities. Sampatti, Sadhana Chaturte, Sampatti. Dhiraha, Vitaragaha, Prashantaha. Prashantaha means Samadhi Shatka Sampannaha. Then Rishayaha. Rishayaha means Jnani. But here Rishayaha means, that is, the Jnanam takes place how? By Shastra Patanam, by studying Shastram, and therefore gains Jnanam, he becomes Jnani, Rishayaha. So Rishayaha implies the study of Shastram because the word Rish means Rishati Janati, Atmatattvam, iti Rishayaha, for which its sadhana is Shastram, Shastra Vichara. Therefore, Rishayaha, the word stands for Shastra Vichara, done by the person having endowed with sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. He approaches the Acharya, gains jnanam, does Shastra Vichara. By that, what happens to that person? He becomes Kritatmanaha. Paramatmatvena Kritaha, Jivatma, Yasya Saha Kritatmanaha. It means he has understood that Jivatma is Paramatma. That is Kritatmanaha. Previously, he was a Jivaha. Now he is Kritaha Atma. He has become as though, within bracket, he is always Paramatma, doesn't become. Brahma with Brahmaiva Bhavati. Paramatma Bhavati. Paramatma Bhavati means recognizes this Swarupa, one with Paramatma. Jivatma, Paramatma Eva, that Aikya, Jnanam, that is Kritatmanaha. Yes, God. Therefore, Jnanatriptaha, because he has Jnanam, and there is nothing satisfying, purifying as his Jnanam, because there is nothing purifier, nothing satisfying as Jnanam, therefore Atma Triptaha, Jnanatriptaha. Jnanatriptaha is completely satisfied with this Jnanam. Nothing can satisfy, only Jnanam can satisfy. Therefore, Jnanena Triptaha, Jnanatriptaha, Jivan Muktaha ityartaha. Jnanatriptaha means is Atma Triptaha, Atmaneva Santushtaha, Jivan Muktaha. Jnanatriptaha is Jivan Muktaha. Otherwise, there is no satisfaction. Where is satisfaction? Satisfaction is only in Paramatma. And he knows Paramatma, therefore Triptaha Santi. And Videha Muktaha. The next is Sarvataha Sarvagam Prapya. Sarvagam is Sarvatra Gachati. Sarvagam, the word refers to Brahma. Where is Brahma? Brahma is all pervading. So after Maranam, Viktatmanaha, this Jnananishta, Viktatmanaha son, he becomes emerged. There is no physical merging, he becomes one with Brahma. Being Brahma is one with Brahma. So, Sarvam eva avishanti. Sarvagam is Sarvatra gacchati, Sarvavyapi, that Brahma, Sarvataha. As Brahma, he becomes all pervading. Brahma Aikyam, avishanti. When? This is Maranantaram, Videha Muktaha. So, therefore, it is all the way, it is Mukti. Because this, after this fall of the Shariram, this Shariram, that's also going to be talked about, all the Upadhi will get resolved. Therefore, Brahmaiva Bhavati. Brahma with Brahmaiva Bhavati. Then the next mantra, sixth mantra, it's a very popular mantra, famous mantra, which is chanted in the puja or when a jnani, a sannyasi arrives, is welcomed with Purna Kumbha chanting this mantra. So this is a very popular mantra. It talks about both Jivan Mukti and Videga Mukti. Vedanta Vijnana Sunishchitartaha. Sannyasa Yoga Shuddha Sattvaha. Shuddha Sattvaha, the mind which is pure, which is free from Raga Dvesha. Shuddha Sattvaha. Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. Samatva Chitta. Samatvam. Yatayaha, Sannyasi. You take the meaning of Yatayaha, Sannyasi, a Jnani. Sannyasa Yogena. Sannyasa Yogena means Jnana Yogena. Vedanta Charena. Vedanta Vijnana Sunishchitaha Arthaha. So they ascertain the meaning of the words of the Vedanta Shastram. That is, Vedanta is Upanishad. The Arthaha, the Tatparyam, the teaching, Sunishchitaha, clearly, without any doubts. Therefore, Jnani Jivan Muktaha. How? By Vichara. By Jnana Sadhanam. they have gained. And paramritaha, para is Brahma, amritaha is namritaha, not subject to not subject to time. Therefore, paramritaha, Brahma which is paramritaha, Vedanta Vijnana Sunishitartaha, paramritaha, therefore Jivan Muktaha, Brahma is Satyam, Brahma is Para Amrita. So, therefore, that is the teaching, Brahma, Jivatma, Brahma Eva, that is the teaching of the Shastram. Therefore, they are awake to that knowledge. Therefore, Jivan Muktaha. And what happens to them after death? Parantakale, Antakale. Here, Antakala is not Parantakala. Antakala for Ajnani. Here, being a Jnani, therefore, this giving up his Shariram is a final for him. After that, there is no more Sharira Prapti. Therefore, Paramritaha, Parantakale. What happens to them? Paramuchanti sarve, sarve te parimuchanti. Brahmaloke. Brahmaloke means it is not one more loka. It is not the Brahmaloka where Brahmaji is. Here we are talking about Mukta, Jivan Mukta. Therefore, it is Chaitanyam, Brahma Chaitanyam. Brahmalokeshu parimuchanti, paritaha muchanti, Vijayaka Mukti. Parimuchanti means becomes free. Brahma Chaitanyam. So Brahmaloke parimuchanti, and after Maranam, at the time of death, all the three Shariram, all three, the Vyashti Shariram, they merges into Samashti Paramatma. So therefore, they will not be subject to any more limitations. Therefore, they gain Videka Mukti. Yata, the Gata Akasha becomes Para Akasha. With when the Upadhi, when the walls of the pot are broken, Tadvata, they become Paramrataha Parimuchanti Sarve, Paritaha Muchanti. They become free in all ways. So Shariram is not there, Bija is not there, Karma not there. All the Prarabdhas are exhausted. All the Prarabdhas are exhausted while living, Jivan Eva. And Sanchita and Agami not there. Therefore, Parimuchanti, become completely free, Sarveti. Then the question may come, after Jnanam, since they continue to live, will not be subject to Punarjanma. No, that also is not possible. So it means the oneness with the Brahma is complete. How it is complete? We said here, Panchadasha Kalaha, the 15 components. Purusha is called Shodasha Kalaha. But here Panchadasha is talked about Prashna Upanishad talked about Shodasha Kala. Here this Panchadasha Kalaha, Purushaha, all the Kala, all the parts. What happened to them? All the Kala, all the parts, everything after Maranam, it merges with the Samashti. Devasha Sarve Prati Devatasu. Devaha means all the sense organs. They merge into corresponding, they go back to the corresponding Adhisthana Devata. So Stula Sharira goes to the Prithvi. Similarly, Sukshma and Karna Shariram. Karna Shariram is destroyed because there is no Sanchita and Agami. And the Sukshma Shariram, consisting of this Indriya, etc. All the sense organs. Devaha meaning it is Indriyani. Sarve Indriyani. Devaha, Prati Devatas goes back to the corresponding Devatas. Without the Adhisthana Devata, sense organs cannot function. Therefore, now the Sukshma Shariram also dissolves. Therefore, the sense organs goes back to the Adhisthana Devata. So all these sense organs, then all the koshas, we can take all the koshas, the karta, pramata, bhokta, ahankara, that also, everything that just becomes one, everything dissolves in the samashti, goes back to the samashti. Sarve api eki bhavan. All of them dissolves for a jnani. Whereas in the case of an ajnani, that will remain, Sukshma Shariram will be there. Karna Shariram being there, Sukshma also will be there. Therefore, that because it continues. So that is that becomes the cause for the next Janma. So therefore, Jnani continues because Sukshma Shariram continues. That will result to Karna Stula Shariram. So therefore, punarjanma, punarapi maranam, punarapi jaranam. Whereas for a jnani, all the kalas, all the parts, panchadasha kalaha, everything merges into the samashti, goes back to samashti. From Brahma only it has come and goes back to Brahma. So having, this is Videha Mukti, having gained this jnanam by living, Jivan Muktaha, Bhavanti, Mananantaram, it becomes Videha Muktaha. This Videha Mukti, Jivan Mukti, as we know, it is only from the standpoint of the observer. Mukti is Mukti. With Shariram, without Shariram, doesn't matter. Jnanam is Jnanam, Jnani is a Jnani. So even if a Jnani comes to comes to take a new Janma, a new birth, that also will not affect the Jnani, because Jnanam being there. So his Jnanam cannot be limited by, cannot be constrained by the Upadhi. It continues to be a Jnani. Therefore, this Videha Mukti, it's in fact, it has no meaning for a Jnani. Jivan Mukti, Videha Mukti, it is Mukti. Upanishad presents that the Jnani will not come back. It will, that is, Upadhi will be completely dissolved. The Upadhi, which is due to karma, karma being not there, Upadhi also not there, Upadhi goes back to the Samashti. That is the meaning. And then the eighth mantra, where a beautiful analogy is given, that the rivers, all the rivers, wherever they origin, they enter the ocean. Having entered the ocean, what happens to the river? They lose their individuality, they lose their Namarupa. Similarly, all the jivas which have come from Ishvara, Paramatma, through knowledge, what happens? Through knowledge, the individuality is dropped and again they become one with Brahma. So, Jnani, he becomes one with the total. Yatha Nadi becomes one with the river, with the ocean. Yatha Nadi becomes one with the ocean, and their individuality is lost. Similarly, Jnani also. The Pasyandamanaha Nadyaha, all the rivers. Samudre Gachanti, Astam Samudre Gachanti, emerge into ocean. Namarupe Vigaya, giving up the Namarupa. Tata Eva Vidvanapi, Namarupa Vimuktaha, that is Videha Mukti. Namarupa, the Shari, the Sangata, the Supadi gone. Therefore, Namarupa Vimuktaha Vidvan, Purusham Upaiti. Purusham, Parat Param Purusham, Parat Param is Parat Maya. Therefore, it is above Maya, that is Brahma. Parat Param Purusham, Divyam, Chaitanyam, Chaitana, Swarupam, Brahma, Upaiti. Parat Param Purusham, Upaiti. Goes to the costless cause, that is Brahma. Becomes one with Brahma. That is the Aikya. Becomes one with Brahma, is always one, not never separate. But oneness, becoming one is also to be, that is only in terms of Jnanam. There is no physical merging, there is no physical oneness. Why we say repeatedly? Because there are different concepts of moksha in other systems. Samyam, Samipyam, etc. So therefore here there is no physical, it is always in terms of jnanam. Then the next the mantra, ninth mantra, where again the Jivan Mukti and Videka Mukti presented. That Sayoga Vaitat Paramam Brahma Veda, when the person knows Param Brahma, Brahmaiva Bhavati, is a Brahma Vitta, Brahma Veda, Brahmaiva Bhavati is a oft quoted Vakya from this Upanishad. Brahma Veda, Brahmaiva Bhavati. Yaha Brahma Veda, Saha Brahma Eva Bhavati. One who knows Brahma, he becomes Brahma. Becomes means he recognizes one who knows Brahma, is Brahma. He recognizes himself to be Brahma. That is a translation. Not he becomes Brahma. There is no becoming. Even though Bo is to translated as in English, it is becoming. That is why the problem. Bo is Sattayam. Being. Being Brahma is Brahma. Therefore, doesn't become Brahma. Even if you say become Brahma, we have to understand. Because knowledge is involved. Therefore, there is no becoming. Becoming is samsara. Here, not becoming something, being Brahma, he recognizes his Swarupa to be Brahma. That is Brahma Veda, Brahmaiva Bhavati. Asya Kule. In that Kula, the one who has gained Jnanam in that Kula, in the family, Abrahma with Nabhavati. In the Kula, as we saw, Kula meaning the family or could be the ashrama. That cannot, when taught by a teacher who is a Brahmanishta, the student will be a Jnani. So Abrahma Vitana Bhavati, Duha Granti Vyaha Vimuktaha Bhavati. He becomes free from Duha Granti, Hridaya Granti, Vidyate Hridaya Granti. From that becomes Vimuktaha Bhavati. Tarati Papmanam, he crosses the Papa, becomes free from Papa. Papa is his, what is a Papa? That is, the Papam is because of individuality. And individuality not there, Agankara not there. Where is Papam? Therefore, no Papam, therefore Tarati Papmanam, Papa Punyam, Tarati Samsara, Sagaram Tarati, Tarati Shokam. Since Papa has gone, therefore, Shoka also gone. So Papam Tarati, this Janma, this Janya Dukkam, Papam Tarati, Amritaha Bhavati, Tarati Shokam Papanam, Amritaha Bhavati. Amritaha Bhavati is Videha Mukti. Tarati Shokam is Jivan Mukti. Jivan Eva Vimuktaha Bhavati, therefore there is no Shoka for him. Tarati Shokam, Jivan Muktaha Bhavati. Amritaha Bhavati, Maranantaram, Amritaha Bhavati. There is no Punarjanma, therefore Amritaha becomes immortal. That is what immortality is. Then the last mantra, where Jnana Palam is talked about, and here the mantra, the Upanishad, the quotes from the Rig Veda. Etat taretat richa. Taretat richa abhyuktam. Richa abhyuktam. Last but one, not last. Here. Kriyavantaha, Shrotriyaha, Brahmanishtaha. All the three words are important. So being Kriyavantaha, Shrotriyaha, Brahmanishtaha. Shrotriyaha is the study of the Shastram. That is first sadhana, the one who has done that. Shrotriyaha. And Kriyavantaha is Yatokta Karma Anushtana Yuktaha, as Bhashyakara says. He has done Karma Yoga, which is primary sadhana for spiritual prosperity, spiritual welfare. One has to be, if one is a mumukshu, then he has to be a Karma Yogi first to start with. So therefore, Kriyavantaha and Brahmanishtaha. So you can change the order. Kriyavantaha, then Shrotriyaha, then Brahmanishtaha becomes Brahmanishta, completely committed to the pursuit of Brahma. So therefore, this being then the person, Ekarishim Swayam Jugvataha Shraddhayantaha, he performs the ritual. The ritual, Ekarshi, the name of the ritual. Shraddha, with Shraddha he performs, and also the Shirobratam. Shirobrata, the Mundaka Vrata, he performs. Those who have passed through all this, he is Kriyavantaha, he was a Karma Yogi, means he was a Grihastha, done Karma, then Shrotriyaha, he has done Guru Pasadanam, and then the Shravanam, then Brahmanishta, committed, it shows commitment to Brahmanishta is not Brahmaninishta, commitment to Brahman. Then, having performed this Ekarshi ritual, the Karma, and Shirobrata Karma, to that person only, this Brahma Vidya should be taught. Why? Then only this Brahma Vidya will be Palitam. To one, those only this Brahma Vidya should be taught. So therefore, to that person only the Brahma Vidya will become Palitam. So Jnanapalam, which was talked about in the previous mantra, that Jnanapalam, that Tarati Shokam, Tarati Papanam, Amritaha Bhavati, wanting to get that Jnanapalam, if a person strives, then the person must be a Kriyavantaha, Shotriyaha, Brahmanishtaha, must have performed this Ekarshi ritual, and Shirovrata, he should have taken the Vrata Vidhivat, in keeping with the Shastra Vidhivat, Tesham eva Brahma Vidyam Pareta. To those people only, this Brahma Vidya should be taught. Only when it is taught, the Jnana Palam talked about in the previous mantra, that the person will gain. That is the idea. To this mantra says only to such student only this Brahma Vidya should be taught, so that the student gets the palam talked about in the previous mantra. Amritaha bhavati tarti shokam papmanam. Because only those students only come for jnana, not those who are bhuti kama. So only mukti kama approach the jnani. Therefore, that the person must be a sadhana chatushtaya sampannaha. In other words, sadhana chatushtaya sampannaha, son must have performed this karma. Ekarshi ritual, its karma is for Atharvana Veda. Therefore, it is not mandatory for other students, that is students who belong to other Veda. In fact, this commitment is what is important. So, Ekarshi Vrata is it's a special spiritual rite reformed by the Atharvana Vedis. So, therefore, Atharvana Veda students. So, therefore, it is not mandatory for other students. There is a Vakya in the commentary, the Tika, and Shiravratam, Mundaka Vratam, that is, those who are completely committed, that is, Mundaka Vrata is generally for sannyasi. One need not be a sannyasi, one can be an antra sannyasi, one can have the commitment of a sannyasi. Therefore, in that spirit, if we take, then the student having these qualifications, to them, the knowledge can be given. Tesham eva brahma vidyam vadeta. The instruction, in fact, instruction is for the teacher, to whom the vidya should be taught. Why the instruction given for the teacher? Because only when it is taught to such students, then only jnanam also will be palitam. Jnanapalam, that person will gain. That is the interest of the Upanishad. Therefore, it says. Then the last mantra with that Upanishad concludes, where Vishihi Angiraha Uppurovacha. This teaching was given by Angiras to Shaunaka when Pura. Even though Pura, but the teaching is still fresh. It is still as it is. It will never become, the teaching never becomes old. It never becomes outdated, because there is no other way for moksha. That therefore the teaching, even though it is Pura, it is valid all the way. Therefore, there is no time limit. There is no expiry date for the teaching. There is no expiry date for the Shastra. Being a Pramanam, therefore it cannot be outdated. Teaching cannot be outdated. Therefore, taught by the Angiras, the same knowledge is handed down the tradition. Brahmadevanam Pratama Sambhabhuva iti, through the tradition, or Narayanam Padmabhuma system, or Sadashiva Samarambham. This teaching is transferred as it is. So, and the Upanishad here gives a caution. Achira Vrataha na adite, without following the discipline. It means without being endowed with sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, one should not study. That is the caution the Upanishad gives. In fact, it is said in the tradition, even if one is not adequately endowed with sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, but if one studies Shastram, continues to study Shastram, he will be endowed with, slowly, over a period of time, he will gain. He will be endowed with the sadhana, viveka vairagya, gets developed over a period of time. In that way also Shastra Patanam, Shastra Vichara helps. So with that the Upanishad concludes by saying Namah Paramarishibhyaha, Namah Paramarishibhyaha, Dvivachanam Samaptyartam. It is to indicate the conclusion of the Upanishad, because in those days all these were not written. It was only verbally, orally transmitted. Therefore, to indicate the end, the last line is repeated 2 times. And also Namaha Paramarshibhyaha iti, Namaskara to the Rishi is done, Adarartham. 2 times it is repeated, with that the conclusion is indicated. With this, the entire Mundaka Upanishad, which has 3 Mundaka and each Mundaka having 2 khanda, it means 6 khandas are completed. The Shanti Pata already we have seen. With this Mundaka Upanishad Samaptam. Upanishad is Samaptam, but our study continues. So we'll stop here. Next class onwards, we will see Jena Upanishad. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Dhanyavadaha.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಜಿ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದः.